Welcome to the CEN Show, a platform where we learn from the world community. I'm your host, Rasaki Maskani, and our panel this evening is Yoshi Mad, Julian T. Nettles Bay, Phantom Zay, Brother Mashinda, and Brother DX just joined us. This evening, we have one of our newer team members as the guest, Brother Chawara. Brother Chawara is back for the third visit, and this visit is the third part of the new faculty of thinking. So, Brother Chawara, welcome back. I'm eager to hear what you're going to speak about this evening, and you could take the floor.
Oh, Chasi, Ailada, Malamalade. Oh, Chasi, Ailada, Malamalade. Oh, Chasi, Ailada, Malamalade. Oh, Chasi, Ailada, Malamalade.
G-I-G, comma J, equals zero. Well, now, G-I-J, comma J, equals zero. Hey, now, say it loud, louder and loud, let us all celebrate. G-I-J, comma J, equals zero. Hey, now, G-I-J, comma J. We no beg, steal, or borrow. We bury Jim Crow under the ground. And we no dig him up. This is the black man's time. Yes, this is the black man's time. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Hey, yes, I'm here to let you know.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Ex-
good evening. Good
excellent,
evening.
excellent presentation, Brother Chawara.
Oh, thank you. I am Chiwara Ochosi. In other words, I'm the harmonious unity of creation, the fearless arrow. And this will be the third installment of New Faculty of Thinking. The New Faculty of Thinking came into existence through the father of one of the fathers involved in the foundation of the Rastafarian movement. This brother's name is Mortimer St. George Kumi Klano. I spoke of him in, I believe it was in the first installment. He was a drummer and he was also the first teacher of Bob Marley, Rastafari teacher of Bob Marley. He was also a follower of Marcus Garvey. And his son, Jaboni, was instructed by his father, Mortimer Plano, to introduce the Black nation to the new faculty of thinking. And he was also then chosen to be ambassador for the Rastafari International Ambassador to the Black nation throughout the world. Now, Mortimer Plano realized that the Black liberation movement was in peril once he began to travel throughout the world and began to see how the development, since the development by Marcus Garvey had movement went international, and His Imperial Majesty came to Jamaica and he also went into Ethiopia with a delegation to bring forth information to continue to build a Rastafarian movement. It's a Black liberation movement. It wasn't a religious movement at all. It was a Black liberation movement. But towards the end, near the end of his days here, because he's with the ancestors now, he realized that the movement was in big trouble because of how the original leaders actually maneuvered through the evolution of the Rastafarian Black Revolutionary Movement. And that is when he commissioned his son to deliver that the only thing that will save our people is a new faculty of thinking. When I spoke with Jaboni, also known as Badass, the badass runaway slave, in having talk, he expressed to me that the new faculty of thinking is something that had to evolve. And as you know, we as a people, the history of us is a history that is happening in the now time, while the colonialists try to sell to us history as something gone in the past. Well, the Black man's history is a present day history. There are some links in the description below that will help those of you who do not understand certain history to maybe find a way to begin to educate yourselves and get things in the perspective of what I'm about to reveal as far as the new faculty of thinking is concerned. You will see Walter Williams, who wrote the book, The Historical Origins of Christianity, as well as the book, The Historical Origins of Islam. There's never been an individual in the history of the world known as Jesus Christ or Muhammad. He will also break down in terms of history. History is not something we as a people invented. That was invented by the colonialists. He invented history, and in the invention of history, he was able to frame history and tell history the way he wanted to do that. We invented the alphabet, our people. And when we say Africa or African, we mean Black people, because there's no nation on this earth known as Africa. Africa is a code word that describes and identifies the Black race of people. So whether you're in America, whether you're in South Central America, whether you're in the Caribbean, as long as you're a Black man, even if you're in Europe or Russia or and so the term Africa identifies simply the Black people of the earth. So a lot of people sometimes take offense to that, and they want to say, well, I'm not African, I'm American, or I'm not African, I'm Jamaican, but those are colonial titles given to us. Also, Adama and Brother Nettles Bay has the forbidden food within his organization, the forbidden food that will teach us and show exactly how we have to deal with our health. Because a part of the Black liberation movement is health, as well as wealth, as well as the knowledge of history of who we are. Because right now we're being bamboozled, like Malcolm X said. The Plymouth Rock did actually fall on us. And so this is one of the problems we have right now. We're being distracted with a political theme of a Democratic and a Republican Party, which none of them delivers to us what we want. There's a history in America that will depict and show you the truth about both parties. So I'm here now to basically put forth the new faculty of thinking. The new faculty of thinking is also dealing with, it's a radical evolutionary movement. Behavior is predicated and depends on our thinking. How a man thinks is how he will behave. And so until we adopt a new faculty of thinking, then our situation will only be babble. We'll only be babbling for another generation, discussing and debating what we are to do when we already know the truth about our dilemma. There is a place down in Natchez, Mississippi called the Devil's Punch Bowl. That should be something that one should investigate. It's the only known concentration camp that I'm aware of, Black concentration camp that I'm aware of, that right after the Emancipation Proclamation and the victory of the North over the South, this Devil's Punch Bowl was created. I think we should look into that as a people to understand why the new faculty of thinking is so important and so critical at this time. We have the bishop, I forget what his name is, but he's in South Africa. He scheduled a trip to come to Jamaica, and he was denied a visa. He was in Jamaica earlier in this year for a Pan-African summit, and he goes now to go back on whatever his personal reasons are. This information just came to me today, and they blocked him from going into Jamaica as a visa. So these are so many things. We can talk about the Panthers and their progressive movement towards the aid of their people, and how Reagan changed the laws to prevent them from being able to arm themselves based upon the Constitution and their civil rights as citizens to bear arms. So the new faculty of thinking is basically dealing with this. The door that we opened up must be closed. The new faculty of thinking is a closed door. If you're not Black, if you're not African, or if you're Black or African and have a problem with being Black or African, the door's closed to you. So now you become an agent, or you become something to be stabilized. The goal of the new faculty of thinking is to establish self-sufficiency, self-reliance, and self-determination. It makes no sense for us as a people to send our children to Rome to be educated, and when they come home as Romans, we have a problem with that. It is every man's right to educate himself. It is not the responsibility of one man to educate the next man. This is the African way. The reason why we don't write history is because we pass history down by word of mouth. That was a problem for the colonialist, because he couldn't manipulate that. We created the alphabet. We created writing. He created the printing press. All of this can be seen when you study Walter Williams, and he tells you the entire process. And you know, this is verifiable. Just search out the history of it. We're in a time called modern history. When you speak of America, when you speak of the diaspora, you're speaking of everything, everywhere the Black man exists, that's outside of Africa. When you speak of American, you're speaking of Irish, Scottish, you're speaking of Italian, Spanish, you're speaking of every race of people when you're speaking of America. But when you're speaking of ancient America, you're speaking of Black people. So we have to be specific when we say we are American. Black people are using that thing too loosely. We have to understand that we are not Americans. We are ancient Americans. North America is known as Munja. This is in the records of the United Nations as the oldest known civilization on the planet of people. Whatever we did in Africa, we did in the Americas. Whatever we did in Americas and Africa, we did in Asia. They have facts and historical facts. And there are a plethora of historians, Black historians, that have researched these information, like Diop, like Marimba Ani, like Dr. Ben, like so many others. You know, I'm not a historian or a student of history. I only live to develop my intelligence and to be able to speak to my people as I am now. This message is for specifically Black people, although it will benefit all people, and it is designed to benefit all people. The new faculty of thinking says no longer will we marry outside of our race. Race mixing goes against your race. I'm not saying be a what they call it, segregationist. You know, race mixing was something that was common amongst the ancients. I'm speaking race mixing as it's being weaponized now. It's been weaponized by the colonialists. They take what is true and what is real and turn it into falsehood and reality, and they kick it back to us. The new faculty of thinking says we are here to deal and to delve into and to submerge ourselves into truth. This is the age of the upright man. This is the age of the God man and the end of the age of the man God. The God man is the energetic man and the energetic woman. The God man is the energetic man and energetic woman because that man was given dominion over all things as written in their book. In the new faculty of thinking, we exist in two forms. We are all sons and daughters of the Most High. That is in their book. In the Christian book it is written, know ye not that ye are the temples of the living God, and that ye are the sons and daughters of the Most High. So we exist in two forms. We exist as the little g, which is the little God, as evidenced by our physical, mortal existence. And we also exist as the big G, the creator of the heavens and the earth, and all things that ever was, is, and shall be. We are that one also, as evidenced by the breath that we breathe. And the intelligence in our anatomy and physiology as we live here, utilizing our intelligence. To the colonialists, intelligence is information. And they use this information to destroy life rather than to build it. Marcus Garvey said intelligence will rule the world. It's intelligence that rules the world. So right now we see that civilizations rise and civilizations fall, but the civilized remain. So intelligence is what we carry with us within the new faculty of thinking. Faculty is like an administration. Faculty is what we use to maintain our health, our spiritual health, our physical health, and our psychological health. In the new faculty of thinking, no parents exist, no such an entity exists. The only thing that exists within the new faculty of thinking are mothers and fathers. Reason being, parents are easily manipulated. A parent will abuse their child. A parent will sell their child. A mother will never do that, nor will a father. Parents will do all manner of things, will transition their children, will say yes to everything, and parents are easily conformed. Mothers and fathers are the core energy of what we say multiply and replenish the earth. You cannot do that without a mother and a father, without a male and a female. Within the new faculty of thinking, there is no goal of destabilizing any form of a system or creating a political rift or a religious rift. The new faculty of thinking and its thinkers focus and function to their human rights more so than their civil rights. Civil rights are given to us by the state or government or some political body. Human rights are given, and you're born with that. If the peoples of the earth would accept wholeheartedly, sincerely, honestly, and in fullness of self to live based upon human rights, civil rights would never be violated. If we prop up civil rights of having some big significance to human progress and innovation, we will find throughout the history of the modern era where you will find a big deterioration of innovation, a big deterioration of humanity. Civil rights will always violate human rights, but human rights will never violate civil rights. So within the new faculty of thinking, we no longer deal with civil rights. Because why is it that my people before me, in whose footsteps I walk, as I walk not upon their shoulders, I walk in their footsteps, and I continue to move toward true liberation, Black liberation, and independence of humanity and life itself. They fought and they died, they marched, dogs bit them for civil rights. But even today in 2024, the 21st century, we have to be struggling to keep our civil rights. How dare these ignorant colonialist children to think that we are less than them. In the description, you will see where it is proven that the Black man is 5/3 of a human being and not 3/5. This has already been scientifically and biologically proven through God Almighty Unified Theorem. Grand Unified Theorem. It's a theorem, not a theory. It can be proven, and it has been exercised by Dr. Professor Gabriel Odu Oyibo. The music that this presentation opened up with spoke of Gaga. That is a song that I constructed to support the Old Prophet Institute of Technology located in Long Island, New York. Our duty as a people today, whether we like it or not, is to stop acting. There's no need for us to act anymore. We have no chains on our neck, no shackles around our necks, no chains in our hands or chains on our feet. We can go in the front door now and go in through any entrance of any building. We can drink from the same water fountain. We can ride in the middle of the front and anywhere on the bus. We are free. So why aren't we practicing freedom? People that are free do not go to another people to educate them. They build their own educational system. Why aren't we doing that? Let's talk about HBCU. We didn't build that. We didn't build that. So let's get that straight. That's not a black institution. That's a white institution built for black people so they don't mix themselves up with the segregated era at that time. And we do appreciate and love the fact that certain white people wanted to build those schools, but let's not be fooled to think they did that out of the goodness and the kindness of their heart. They did that because they didn't want their daughters and their sons to be mixed in with us. They didn't want integration. Abraham Lincoln himself said if he could have achieved what he wanted to achieve without ending slavery, he would have definitely do it. He found nothing wrong with instituting slavery. It was just a change of power, of economic power and wealth. So the new faculty of thinking says we shut the door now. The civil rights movement opened the door wide. And we are now here trying to save our children from being transitioned, trying to save our young mothers and young new fathers from aborting their children, which is our generation, which is ourselves. They're doing that right now as I speak. The Democratic Convention has been put on, and they have buses parked targeting black people. It's there. This information comes to me. I don't even have to search for it. People in the pipeline, people that know me, sends me stuff, and I'm seeing this. I'm like, wow, happening right now. So we close the door. We close the door. Why aren't our black celebrities taking responsibility? They only have the gifts and the talents because of the souls of the people that came before them. Beyonce, Jay-Z, Floyd Mayweather, Oprah Winfrey. I mean, the list goes on and on. They all were gifted because they came from an immortal people. We are immortal. We are divine. Let's claim that. But not only claim it by words, but claim it by deeds. This is a time for action. It's a time for action. So let us stop just being free and just practice our freedom now. Unite. The example is there. It's not impossible. Burkina Faso, under Abraham Traore, the Kingdom of Mali, the Kingdom of Niger, and many other African nations are uniting themselves. We in the West, in the Western Hemisphere, black people need to unite and stop the bickering, stop the debating. We all, during the time of the enslavement, the imprisonment, we were all prisoners of war. Wherever you came from, it didn't matter. As long as you were black, you had an owner and you was a slave. So, let us, I would like questions, I would like comments pertaining specifically to the new faculty of thinking.
Okay. I'm going to reiterate that. Anybody have a comment or a question? I'm going to call on everybody. It's specifically to the new faculty of thinking. I'm going to start with Julian Nettles Bay. Can you please unmute?
Okay.
Thank you.
I heard some things I'd never heard before. And so I'm one of these people that definitely like knowledge, but I like accurate demonstrable knowledge. So I don't really have a comment right now. Nobody knows everything. That includes me. And so even though I've been accused, I would, well, just like, I don't know if any of you know Dr. May Hunter, but she accused me of being the smartest person on earth. And I asked her, and she gave an IQ test to everybody on earth, and I scored the highest score. Because to me, I'm only interested in accurate demonstrable wisdom. And that's one of the reasons I learned and have showed others people how to transcend time and distance so they can go back and get accurate knowledge and not necessarily get knowledge that the libraries have written in the books. So a lot of things that were said I'd like to look into, and before I make a comment one way or another. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, I'd like to say one thing before we proceed. Dr. Nettles Bay has been a friend and a brother to me. I believe probably about going on 19 to 20 years now. And the Dogon knowledge is definitely, that's why I invited him to this third part, because that is one of the things that I am, when I say action, this is Dr. Nettles Bay program is what I'm speaking about. So we'll know all more about that as we proceed down the road. Thank you, Dr. Nettles Bay.
Yes, thanks
You're
for
more than welcome. I'm more than glad you invited me. And you know, when we deal with terminology, sometimes I like to look at it from the standpoint of the spirit's energy that is embodied in it from a core energy standpoint. And I know that other people are not necessarily aware of this type of knowledge, but I certainly can train people in it and do train people in it, because I'm into not believing anything, but knowing. If you know, you can demonstrate and show. And so I'm into knowing and having accurate demonstrable knowledge. And that's what I like to train people on, how to transcend time and distance so they can go back and see if what was said is accurate or not.
Thank you.
appreciate you attending this evening, and hopefully we'll be able to hear more from you as we proceed through our journey here of community education. Okay.
So that's what I'm about.
Yes, I appreciate you. Okay, Fathom Zay. Would you like to unmute? Question, comment? I will
Yeah,
come back.
Phantom Zay. Are you there? Oh, Zay?
Oh, he did say he was doing something early, so we'll.
Yeah, you come back to him.
Yes. Hey, brother DX, how you doing, man?
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Alaikum salam. Thanks for
Alaikum
attending,
salam.
brother DX. We haven't seen you in a while. What you have for us,
Well,
brother DX?
man, you know y'all are my family on so many levels, and I appreciate everything that is happening to Rara. Is the definite godfather of information, and the combination of the new faculty of thinking, I think, is very necessary as we move into our new dimensional frequencies. The thoughts that have been interjected in conversation, and especially coming from a brother like Chihuahua, I think he's tapped in very well. I would like to just add a little bit to the liberation aspect, is the spiritual aspect of the liberation, the morality and honorable um, of self-governance that the Most High has put into a lot of us as men, in a way of righteousness, in a way of morality and honorable, or how we think or how we move and what we do, that we know and acknowledge, as he acknowledged the Gaga theory, as the J, comma J equals zero. That is the absolute, that man is Allah, that man is the birth from the Yahweh, the woman, the absolute being.
Great.
Okay, brother DX, is that it? Can't hear you, brother DX. So we will come back to you. Yoshi Mod.
You,
Brother man.
what's up, Raxton? Yeah, this is much needed. You already know. You know, I got my fam over here, so I gotta attend to them, but this is much needed conversation, much needed topic. People need to learn about Geiger. They need to know what the absolute power is to kill all ignorance. They need to know that they need to embrace that. And this is what it's about, man. I'm here to support. I'm here to do anything I can to make this come true, man. So let's keep it going. Let's get more up in here, man. But love your work. Love everything you're doing, Brother Raxton. The presentation on fire. You hit all key points. If they didn't know, they know now. So yeah. If they have any questions, you know, this is the man to talk to, Brother Raxton. So it's a pleasure to even have this invite. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I'm Yoshi Mod. I'm the one that helped create the intro. I put the intro together with the effects. So that's what I bring out here to the table, man. B1 FBA. Let me get my camera right. But it's B1 FBA, and it's all about unity, united with one another, and staying on point, putting us first. And that's why, you know, I always shout out B1, put us first. We put us first, ain't nothing gonna win, man. We got this. So I'm very grateful for the knowledge. I'm coming straight from y'all from Galveston. So I say, yo.
Hey man, very nice work on that intro, brother Yasimad. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
I say.
All right. Thanks a lot.
No
Brother
problem.
Brother Mashinda. Might be just listening. Professor Amin Ra.
Appreciate what's been said, if I understand correctly. Abani Ghani, everyone. I want to say asante to Brother Shirar for his excellent presentation and his perspectives and his vision and his advocacy of a new faculty of thinking. I would just want to ask you just a couple questions. What is new about the new faculty of thinking? Because throughout history, people have said many of the things that you were saying that encompasses it. Self-determination, that's been throughout history. You can go all the way back, you know, to the continent, you know, for those that fought for self-determination against the colonialists and against Holocaust of enslavement. But so what is new and different from what Malcolm said, what Sheikh Anta Diop said when he called for continental unity on the continent of Africa?
Okay.
You know, there are some people that think American, you understand, and you but you know, how do you get people who are in the cult of America to come out of the cult?
Okay. The new faculty of thinking don't consider those things. Those things are past. Malcolm and Martin had done what they did because they had to. Malcolm knew they was going to kill him, but he said, speak the truth, speak it ever, cause it what it will. That's a new faculty of thinking. But he had to bring the enemy out so that we today would know them and see them for what they are. Martin Luther King knew that they was going to kill him. But he said, I've seen the mountaintop. And we're going to get there, but he said he may not get there with us. So the new faculty of thinking is the edited version of what the 60s were bringing to the table. The 60s were for the purpose of revealing, taking our, letting the segregationists and both Republican and Democratic Party reveal themselves and not bring us into no more lies. Yeah, you know, you guys are okay, and they'll give us anything. So it's not that the new faculty of thinking is saying something new. We are saying the same thing, but taking it to the next level. It's a new understanding. Understanding cannot be taught. Knowledge is rampant. We can go all over the place, and knowledge is everywhere we turn. I don't care where we look, we will find knowledge, which they also call information, which the colonizers call intelligence. We don't see information as intelligence. Intelligence is something within man that has to mature as man evolves. And so the new faculty of thinking is dealing with self-sufficiency. What haven't we done? We have not built our own schools. Let's look at America, let's look at Jamaica as two places. In America, the Black people in America are just doing what they're doing based on the construct of the colonized. They're not doing it based on pure Black thought. They're not doing it based on that. And so they're working within the construct of the system because that's what the civil rights movement offered them. And so they took that and they ran with it. Years later now, yes, we're proud that our foreparents fought for civil rights and that we were able to do this and do that, and we're still able to do this and that. But it's a constant, nerve-wracking fight just to be who we are. We got the crack epidemic. We got the trading of guns for drugs. This Oliver North and I mean, the evidence is there. We have to stop. We have to stop supporting a system that doesn't support us. And the system is not that we want the system to die. It's not that we want to create a problem. It has nothing to do with that. At what point do we look at ourselves and love ourselves? Like Malcolm X asked, who taught you to hate your Black skin? Who taught you to hate who you are? And Martin Luther King said, I have integrated my people into a burning building. This is the trueness of the situation. It's not going to change until we change our thinking. That's why the new faculty of thinking is necessary. We are disillusioned. We believe that history is teaching us something. Why do you think Dr. Ben?
Well, I you know, when you say we, do you have a new faculty of thinking?
I do.
Okay, then.
Let me share some of it.
What make you think other people don't have one?
I didn't say people don't have it. All of us have it, but not all of us will use it.
How you know?
Because I've seen it in history.
No, well, I see people doing it right now.
I'm not saying people are not doing it because your definition of a new faculty may be different from mine. My definition of a new faculty. I'm
going by what you said.
Okay. Give me what I said.
You said something about modern history. You said that the doors closed, and you also said that it's about people thinking a new way, build their own.
Not people. You're not getting me right. Not people, bro. Black people, a specific people, not people. Black people. And it's not all Black people.
That's all. That's all on this show is Black people. So we talking about.
But I'm not talking to the people on the show. I'm talking about the people that's not on the show. That's in the world globally. That's who I'm addressing. My people in America, my people in the Caribbean, my people in Canada, my people in Africa, my people in Europe. Wherever you find a Black man, that's who I'm talking to. Now all of them will agree, because some of them are comfortable with the trinkets that they're getting from the colonizers. Trinkets such as a college degree, trinkets such as a high position on a job. You understand? That separates them. Trinkets like fame and fortune. They sell out for fame and fortune. Many of them do that. P. Diddy did it. Jay-Z did it. All of them did it. These things have occurred. We are not here to dispute or talk about those things. I don't even want to address that. I'm addressing why don't we have our own schools? Why are we sending our
We
children?
do have our own schools. We built them in the 60s.
What's the name of the school?
Omawadi Ujamaa out in Pasadena. You have the Institute of Positive Education in Chicago. You have Marcus Garvey in Los Angeles.
Okay.
We get them schools. We had W. Du Bois.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a plenty of them all over the country.
And these schools were created and ran by Black people, correct?
Yeah.
I just need a yes or no.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I've never heard of these schools. That doesn't mean they don't exist. So what we need then, the new faculty of thinking saying, all of these schools need to integrate themselves together in a communication system where we can now communicate and maybe build even more schools around the country so that our children can be educated the way we want them to be educated. That's a new faculty of thinking, taking it to the next level. That's what it is.
The primary,
having our own communication system that cannot be changed.
The primary education is the family. The family has been disrupted in many places. Some families have been disrupted. But there are some strong families that teach their children at home consciousness and practice. Many people from the Nation of Islam do that.
I taught my children at home. I taught my children from home.
Many people from Garvey taught that. You understand it? You didn't learn the Garvey movement in school. You learned it from the community and at home, from Garveyites and things.
But that's what I'm saying.
Queen Mother Moore. And
I don't think you're understanding me, Professor Ross. There's nobody saying that we have not done upright and righteous and true things. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying let's take it to the next level now. Let's depart from foolishness. Let's depart from bickering. Let's join forces and be unified as a people and stand up. Malcolm X said, if you do something egregious to one Black man, you're doing it to all of us. Okay? So let us join our bonds together as a people. Let us unite ourselves together financially, spiritually, and physically.
You never heard of the Black United Front?
Yes, I've heard of them.
You heard of NCOBRA, the National Coalition for Black Liberation, the Institute of Black World, the Black World Institute. There are many national organizations that advocate the elements of the new way of thinking.
So why are our Black women still aborting their children then? Why are our young boys? Hold on a second, brother. And why are our young men and young women being transitioned vice versa to male or female? Why is that happening?
There's a lot of them that's doing that, but there's some that are building strong families.
But I'm not talking about some, bro. I'm not talking about some. I'm talking about why the majority of our people fill the prisons. Why is that happening?
Because the white man put them in there.
No, the white man ain't got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, okay. If you say so.
Black people are cowards. They're cowards. They're cowards. They don't want to stand up on their 2 feet and defend upright living and live as free people. We are free. We don't have to talk about the white man no more. The old way. Free to do what?
You want to be free to do what?
Do anything the white man is doing except murder and mayhem.
You said, okay, you win, brother. You win.
No, I'm not trying to win, because there ain't no winners, ain't no losers. We're reasoning. You know, we're free to do anything any race of people do except murdering and mayhem. That's it.
That's not true. That's
Why
not
aren't
true.
we practicing that? Why aren't we coming together? Why
Because
aren't our black
the
dollars?
people
Why
that's
aren't
doing
those?
that, the people that's doing that do need a new way of thinking. But there are a lot of young people that are not doing that. And they're
Not doing
conscious, they read, they study. You had 2,500 people graduate from Howard University this past year, 2,500 at one time. You had a young lady, 17, get a PhD from a major university.
How is
You had
that
a young
liberating us
brother,
as a people?
you had a young brother, 15, that created a soap to help cure skin cancer. So
How is that helping us as a people? Though? Are we benefiting from that?
yes,
How?
they're role models to emulate for other
Man,
people.
we don't need
for
role
young
models, man. We don't need role models. We need cities and
people.
towns. We need healthcare systems. We need education systems. We need living systems. We need systems, what they call infrastructure, that feeds us and supports us. We don't need role models. We have all of that in abundance, a dime a dozen.
If you say so. But people
No,
are.
I say so, bro. Okay, anyway, let's move on. I'm gonna say this, okay? Let me explain to you who I am first, so y'all can have an understanding where my mind and my set is. I'm not a Rastafarian, number one. I am not Rastafari, number two. Rastafarians are those who believe and say Haile Selassie is Jesus Christ, and that Haile Selassie is God Almighty. That's what a Rastafarian is. To be a Rastafarian, you have to accept that tenet. Just like to be a Christian, you have to accept that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. To be a Muslim, you have to accept that Muhammad is the last messenger of Allah, and so on and so forth. In Rasta is dealing with the teachings of Marcus Garvey, Black liberation for Black people. We're not trying to liberate white people, Chinese people, or any other people. They will have to do that for themselves. If they wish to support us, then that's fine. We'll take their support, but they don't need to come and join us. New faculty of thinking. We're not trying to make friends. We have done everything. We have married the daughters of the colonizers. We have married the sons of the colonizers. We haven't gotten nowhere where we thought we would get from integration. We're still dying in the street like dogs. We're filling the prisons and jails like never before, going straight from school to prison. And if we get from school to the prison, that means we missed the cemetery. Okay, so this is the truth about what's happening. It's crazy, but we can't keep looking at these trinkets that they give us, like Oprah Winfrey, like a successful businessman who works for a Fortune 500 company. We can't keep doing that. We need to stop the bleeding. To stop the bleeding, we stop. In the 60s, they used to do boycott. What is a boycott? They say, okay, we're not going to ride your bus no more. We're not going to go in your stores and buy your food no more. In today, 2024, we're not even thinking boycott. We're thinking to try to make it happen, make it work. To make it work is a conscious decision. It is, they say out of sight, out of mind. In the new faculty of thinking, it's out of mind, out of sight. You get that beast out of your mind so that beast can no longer be in your sight, so that you can do the things you need to do. Most Black people don't want jail for their children. Most Black people want their grandchildren to be born, not aborted. There's nothing in this world as it stands that says, here, Black people, we're going to lift you up. So Ras, I am a Ras. Ras stands for reliable, available service. Or it is also an acronym meaning reliable, available service. And it's an acronym, also means RAM, reliable, available, maintainability. Okay? So we as a people must be reliable to one another. We must be able to rely on each other. Now, if you're wondering if I'm making this up, let me tell you where this comes from. And this is how the new faculty of thinking is constructed. It's in real time. It is happening right now as we are speaking. It's happening right now as we're speaking. Okay, reliability, availability, and serviceability, RAS. Also known as reliability, availability, and maintainability, RAM, is a computer hardware engineering term involving reliability, engineering, and high availability and serviceability. It's a design. The phrase was originally used by IBM as a term to describe the robustness of our mainframe computers. Now, what is a mainframe? Mainframe is the brain of the computer, isn't it? A mainframe.
Yes.
So what I did was I took that RAS, because I wasn't looking for it, but when I put RAS in, because I'm trying to define these things, because I wouldn't came up as, if you want to know the true history of Rastafari movement, then you consult with, I put it in the description below, the Rastafari International Ambassador. He will give you the chronological order of the Rastafarian movement from he was a child, to the point where he is now. He's born in 54, I'm born in 55. So Ras in Ethiopian language now is defined as head, like a governor or king or prince. It's a royal title. It's powerful, but it's non-imperial. It's a non-imperial title. Ethiopia, the word Ethiopia and the word Africa is a synonym. They're synonyms. And this is why you can be in America and be an Ethiopian. You can be born and raised in America and be an Ethiopian, because that's a code for that you're black. You can be anywhere on this planet and be an African, as long as you're a black man or a black woman or a black child. This is the focus of the new faculty of thinking. We are focusing on our blackness, who we are. It doesn't matter where you come from. We're one people. Yes, each people have their individual history and culture, but we are one people nonetheless. And so this is what it focuses on. A religion is a belief and and worship of a superhuman power. That's what religion is. And such as an example of that is like you believe in a superhuman like God or God. That's religion. We exist as big G's and little G's. We know this to be a true fact. Why do I know this to be a true fact? Because I have to go by what was given to me. I came up in the Bible. I was not a super Bible person, but that's my mother and father were Christians. And I learned Christianity in its basic form. Now, within Christianity, we are told that the Word is God, and that the Word made man in the Word's own image. Now, God is another term for energy, because energy is the only thing in this life that cannot be created nor can it be destroyed. Energy. So when you hear the word God, what they're saying is energy. So why did they use God? Why did they just take energy? Because to use God is to keep a blindfold on your eyes so you won't be able to observe God. So therefore, it says that the Word, which is God, took upon itself flesh and dwelt amongst man. Well, I've come to know and understand that that phrase and that statement, as accepting as many people accept it, it makes no sense. It separates God from man. This phrase ought to be, and the word took upon itself flesh and dwelt as man. As man. When you say as man, it's then God and man becomes one. But when you say among man, then that means God and man is separate. The whole purpose of the spirituality of our people is to be one with this energy. That's why we did so much great things, because we tapped into the energy. We knew how to handle it. We knew how to allow ourselves to be handled by the energy. We were obedient to it until such time as it became different. So now, when we come to the point of becoming Big G, because any man here that's going to be listening to this broadcast and is listening now, we all know that that little g, which is our flesh body, our mortal self, we're tired. We're tired of the war. We're tired of the pestilence. We're tired of the lie. We're tired of the unhappiness. We're tired of the corruption. We're tired of it all. The little g wants to sit down and rest. But he has to give it up to the big G, because the big G, they say, with God, all things are possible. With the energy, it's the energy. So now that part is immortal. The only way to access the big G is to accept the big G. If you don't accept yourself as big G, then you will not get knowledge of big G, nor the understanding of big G. This thing will be released automatically because of the wisdom of our ancestors. It comes to you out of your DNA. It's buried there, deep within your DNA. But to accept it is to open it up. To accept it is to gain understanding, not only of it, the big G, which you truly are, but of all things else in creation. You are given dominion, according to their book again, over all things that were created that have life. So why do we have a problem with that? Why do we have a problem with taking dominion over what is already our possession? We so easily look at one another and say, he's the devil. But we don't so easy to say, he's God. Oh, no, that's blasphemy, that's taboo. Oh, nobody's God. You can't see God. No, you are God. And I am God without apology. That's it. I've learned that, and I've accepted that, and I'm in the full power of myself. I am an immortal and a divine being, and I will operate in that manner. People say, well, does it mean you will live forever? Yes, I do live forever. My body gonna fulfill what the designer of it said it's gonna do. That will never be violated. I am immortal in the body, but I am immortal everywhere and in every other form. Everything is connected, and everything depends on each other, interconnected and interdependent. All of it. Gargot teaches us this. The infallible truth is Gargot. And with Terrence Howard speaks of many things associated, even the realms of that. The truth cannot be stopped. My ancestors would not lay down and stay laid down. They are on the rise now. It is the black man's time. It is our time. Time for us to unite ourselves, but we can't unite ourselves with deception. We have to be sincere in that unity. We can't come together with trickery and delusional mindset. And for those who want to do that, there's nothing wrong with it, but they can't do it over here. They got to do it over there. If you believe that the system that you now function in is working just fine for you, stay there and do that. I'm not going to bother you, but I guarantee you one thing. As we proceed in the new faculty of thinking, those same people will come and try to destroy you. So we have to be wise in our movement. I welcome any other questions, and responses as time would allow.
Okay, so now it's a few other people that came in. They came in late. You might know them, Brother Jawara.
Mm-hmm.
We got first initial A. Knighton.
Yes,
You know
that's my
that
maestro. That's my
that's
maestro.
that's your maestro.
Yes,
That's my brother. That's my brother in arms, my comrade.
Okay. Well, you just arrived, and he laid out the new faculty of thinking, a continuation from two other shows. Are you familiar with the new faculty of thinking?
Absolutely and unequivocally. I
Okay.
understand what we talking about.
Is there anything you would like to add in that light, then?
Uh, I I believe my brother has said a mouthful, and we discuss this on a regular, understanding that we have to move in the action of the big G as we placed it, you know, and understanding that our the little G, or the smaller portion of myself that is not always connected to the source, no longer reigns, or not on, well, I say it like this: as we act in the big G, we become the vessels by which the great universal work is done. And so I just making sure we understand that as a people, and reasoning together.
Okay. Now, I'm taking it all in, and from what I'm gathering is that uh, you're when you talk about the big G, Brother Chiwara,
yes,
you're talking about a higher self versus a lower self, which is the little G.
yeah. And I would use the word a deeper self rather than a higher self. But it also can be termed as higher because of the heavens, the crown chakra. This is as
Okay.
high as you go, you know. And then the deeper self would be the pioneer, deep
Pioneer.
into the pioneer. You see, so therefore, this God that exists has always existed in us, has always been there, and has been there before we were born. And in birth, that one took us in the form of a breath, and we maintained it in the form of respiration, breathing in and breathing out. We maintained its efficacy, its survival, and the world has only worked hard for us to calcify that, for us to corrupt this body, to intoxicate this body, like Sister Adama has been saying. You know, we're just destroying that vessel that we're in. This mortal vessel has what you call specks. That's why their Bible says what we eat. In the first chapter of Genesis, it tells you what we should eat. Now that don't mean we can't eat. We shouldn't eat what we eat. We can eat, drink, and be merry. Do what you want to do. But let's not cry about it with, oh, you know, so and so died because so. Yes, because so and so went outside of the prescribed. You can't put oil in your gas tank and put gas in your crankshaft. You know, it's gonna mess your car up. So
Oh,
this is the principle. The big G has
okay.
always been there, and that's it.
Another thing, Brother Chiwara, also, can you kind of equate this to also using a larger percentage of your brain? You know how people say we only use a certain percentage of our brain. So what you're
Exactly.
saying, you're accessing more of your brain capacity.
Yes, of your true nature, of your true self. When a baby is born, it is the mother and father's duty to protect the child, but more so, the head of the child. That's why the child is born, and we're all born with a cranium, a skull. Inside of the skull is the brain, and the brain is the housing for the mind. And so you don't drop the child. You don't batter the child. And you don't give the child food that does not nourish their brain, because the mind has to enter there. What is mind? What is the mind? The mind is God. The mind is the universe. The mind is the energy. The mind is our ancestors. Like, for instance, the colonizers will harbor the mind of their ancestors. They were murderers. They were marauders, plunderers, looters, rapers. That's what they did. They got from and say, let's go.
You're on mute. Okay.
Destroy. That's what they did. And that's what their whole program was about. The destruction of humanity, of the real people.
Okay, now,
Okay?
Brother Trawara, we also
Yes.
had Justin Cooper come in. You know Justin Cooper?
Oh yes. He's this forum, Justin, Justin need to come in, because he's very important. When we talk about time for action, it's action time. Justin is pivotal in that, as well as my brother in arms and my maestro, Anthony Knighton. It's very important for us to understand where we at. Yes,
Okay.
Justin is
And then also, I out of little negligence, Brother Ahi is here also. So we'll go to Justin first, then I'm gonna go to Brother Ahi. I wasn't even thinking, Brother Ahi came in a little late also. Okay, Justin Cooper, you want to unmute?
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Greetings, Justin.
Greetings, Brother Chihuahua.
So you're familiar with the new faculty of thinking, correct, Justin?
Absolutely. Brother Chihuahua is, I consider one of my personal spiritual advisors. It absolutely helped me recognize the G that I am, recognize the G that others are, in efforts to help outreach to and educate others in that same understanding.
Okay. So is there any comment you would like to add to what Brother Chihuahua is talking about? Or how you are affiliated and what role do you play in what's going on?
So for me personally, my emphasis, my area of genius is more on the technology side, as a tool for education, empowerment, and enabling spiritual and financial awareness and prosperity with our people. Work with Brother Chihuahua and Anthony Knighton to that effort and to that end. As Brother Chihuahua mentioned, it's the time for action now. The things that we're building, the things that are being enacted, and the platforms that are being released are absolutely going to be instrumental keys in the conscious awakening of us as a people, and also as a tool of empowerment to override the things that generationally we've not only been denied, but purposely excluded from.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that contribution. And it's my hope that we congregate with everybody here about what's going on with the new faculty of thinking. Because I have a version of new faculty of thinking that I deal with. Okay. Brother Chihuahua and I always talk about it. All right, Brother Ahi, forgive my negligence earlier for not getting with you sooner. But Brother Ahi, question or comment for Brother Chihuahua?
I'm thankful for you brothers for this podcast. The broad range of progressive people that you have on here. I am seeking to live on a higher plane, always in search of a deeper and more profound wisdom. And I just appreciate this, and I'm just going to absorb more of what you brothers are talking about on the higher and the lower G. And I aspire to be on a higher G myself. Thank you.
Appreciate you coming, brother Ahi. It's always good to see you.
Thank you very much, Brother
So,
Mashenda. I mean, Rashiki, Shaki, Shaki.
Rasaki, it's
Rashiki,
all
right.
good.
Thank you, brother.
All right, thank you. All right, brother Chawara.
Yes.
You're around constantly, and we're gonna keep you around as long as you want to be around. So go ahead and close us out, and you know that we want to get you back as soon as we can.
Oh, yes. The struggle continues, but it won't be a struggle much longer. In the scriptures, the Christian book, it says there will come a time when we will look for the wicked, and they shall be no more. Our ancestors and our foreparents for the past 2,600 years have suffered, but suffered with a goal in mind, to redeem their goodness and to return to a life of brotherhood and sisterhood and goodwill shared amongst our people. For when we stand up, the whole of earth rejoice. When we unite ourselves together without apologies to any other race, color, or creed, the whole entire creation will rejoice. Our ancestors is not the ones that came before us in flesh alone, but our ancestors are also the light and the darkness that was there before anything was created. Our greatest ancestor is the energy itself, what we call life. This is why, as a Rasta man, my religion is life, my culture is life, and my tradition is life. And I don't take anything away from any other religion or any other culture, any other tradition, because that would be against life itself. At the end of the day, and at the beginning of the day, and anywhere inside of the day, there is no day, beginning, middle, or end, if there is no life. So why don't we all bow down to life? Why don't we worship life? And in order to do this, we must practice goodwill amongst ourselves. And ourselves being all colors, all race, and all creed, should turn to their color, to turn to their creed, turn to their race, their ethnicity, and correct themselves, clean themselves up, so that we, as a multi-race of humanity, can communicate on righteous ground and live and become and be upright people, because that's the core of our energy. We're life givers, we're life savers. And there are many instances in history where we have proven that we are truly life savers and life givers. We only deconstruct to reconstruct because something was constructed wrongly or inefficiently. We are the people on the planet and the only people that can save the planet. Do not listen to what people say. Research for yourself. And the best place to research is within yourself, not books. Although books can help and books can guide us, but books are dangerous because everything is plagiarized, everything is falsified, everything is what you call a anomaly or a variation. It is not real. Every level of education on this planet globally is nothing but lies. Taken from us, the truth taken from us, reshaped and reframed in the form of the modern era. It's modernization. Study modernization. When did that start? Go to it. Google is here. The technology was created to free the people, not enslave the people. But the colonizers want you to believe that this technology is enslaved you. And look, you get up out your bed and you go to work at home. What does that do? You're saving money on gas. wear and tear on the car. You spend more time with your children. You're able to even teach your children at home. The technology is not here to enslave anybody. What the centralized system is trying to find out is how can we get in there and enslave the people in the decentralized system of the technology that is here now, that is being sent here by the energy, the creator. And we, the Black people, are the ones who invented all of that. All of the elements and the minerals for the digital technology is found in Africa. And they want us to believe that we don't have the intelligence, that we're poor and we're starving and we're the worst, poorest country in the world. But all of them are there. The French is there, the Spanish is there, the Germans is there. All of them are there. They're there simply to keep their foot on our neck. At what point do we pick up our nuts off the ground? At what point do we reconstruct our spine or our backbone? At what time do we get rid of fear and don't look at bravery, but look at courage? At what time do we come together as a united race of people, as a nation of people, globally, and begin to fix what our captors have messed up? Because if we don't, the energy will take everybody out. Peace, love, guidance. Embrace the big G in you. It doesn't mean you are violating anything. You're just acknowledging that God, with God, the energy, all things are possible. If you have no energy, you can't do anything. So energy is the center of mobility, is the center of cognition. Energy is the center of everything, the center of love. Energy is the center of hate. Energy is the center of everything. Without energy, nothing exists. Without life, nothing exists. So let us give credence to life. Let us come together as a people, as Black people, and unite ourselves. Take doubt and throw it to the trash. If you doubt something, find out the knowledge, research it so that you can get rid of the doubt. Doubt just simply means that you're lacking the knowledge. Let us come together and create forums around the country. Why aren't we creating movies for ourselves? Why aren't we building theaters, black theaters, for our story to be told? Why aren't we doing all of these things? Because of fear and because of interference of the children of the colonizers. They say we should get reparations. Why? Reparation is just another word for repentance. If you don't repent, you ain't gonna give nobody nothing. If you don't think you did anything wrong, you ain't gonna give nobody nothing. And if you believe that everybody gonna treat you like we gonna treat you like you treated us, you got the wrong thing going on. Because Black people don't have time for that. We don't have time for that. We got too much work to do. We got nations to build. We got righteousness to lift up. We got truth to lift up. We got justice to lift up. We got healing to do, not only of Black people, but the entire planet. The earth needs healing. The pollution of the earth, the pollution of the water, the pollution of the air. If we don't sit in our position as God that has said, God's almighty grand unified theorem, as discovered by Gabriel Oyebo, if we don't understand that we must come together, and it is a God order, it's not a man order, it's a God order. I just want to give thanks to everybody that attended, those who are connected to me and those who aren't. We are connected because you're here. I love everybody, I love everyone. Let us be proud of the light that shines out of our Blackness. Let us embrace the light of our Blackness. Let us no longer be ashamed of each other. Let us sit down and discuss and straighten it out. Peace and love. I am because you are, and you are because I am. Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
Excellent, Gerard. Excellent, excellent. I want to thank everybody this evening for attending. Brother Gerard, keep doing your thing, man. It's excellent. Keep it up. Appreciate you. Professor Rye, can you talk about what we're doing next Tuesday?
We will have a continuation of post political condition discussion with Dr. Daniel Taylor and Black Men for Kamala Harris.
All right, we had a show last night, which was part one of Black Men for Kamala Harris. And the number 2 is next week, next Tuesday. Everybody's welcome to attend. We had about, I think, 15 people there. So it was a good outing, and I'm looking forward to that because we have a young and upcoming young lady that we're trying to get to join the Community Education Network team. So hopefully we can get her because we need younger people to start getting involved. So hopefully that takes place with attempting to get her to be a part of the team. So now on next Wednesday, we have Mr. Bobby. Mr. Bobby is the co-host of the Neely Fuller. Well, it's a counter racist code show. Neely Fuller Jr. I think a lot of people should know about him. Brother's 95 years old. He has a weekly show, and he also is the mentor of Francis Cress Welsing, a great ancestor that just transitioned probably in 2016. Wonderful human being and brought us very great information. She was a psychiatrist. I'm pretty sure everybody heard about her. If not, you need to check that sister out. And Neely Fuller Jr. also, he's on weekly, producejustice.com. And Mr. Bobby is his co-host. And the topic is we were talking about the political climate, and he mentioned that there's events that occurred that's in line with what's going on with this Israel and Palestine conflict. So he gave me a few things to research, and I went and looked them up, and very interesting information. So the title of that show would be, we're taking a riff from Marvin Gaye, what's going on, but we're gonna make it what's really going on. So that's next next Wednesday. So again, I appreciate everybody coming out. Each one teach one, and Conscious Corner. Have a great evening and day.